In the heart of Manhattan's priciest restaurant, a black waiter stunned the room when he began speaking fluent German to a visiting customer. The hush that followed was so intense it felt as if even the clattering from the kitchen had frozen. Andre Santos, 28, leaned forward with composure and, in flawless German, conveyed the words of an elderly woman who was frantically trying to explain her severe seafood allergy to the head waiter, who, until then, had only responded with visible frustration. Just minutes earlier, the woman looked ready to break down. But now, thanks to Andre's translation, her expression shifted from fear to relief. She quickly explained her condition, speaking in rapid German, and Andre translated every word with precision. He never imagined that the 5 years he had spent studying German at the Brooklyn Public Library in the early mornings would one day prove themselves in such a public way. For the past 3 years, Andre had worked at Le Bernardin, one of the city's most prestigious restaurants. Yet he was always pushed to the least important tables. In this luxurious place where dinner cost $300 per person and customers often arrived by limousine, Andre was the only black employee. From across the room, the manager, Mr. Morrison, watched. He was 50 with a grey moustache and a constant air of arrogance. He had only hired Andre to meet diversity requirements and always kept him serving in the back, far from wealthy guests. "Santos, get back to your section," Morrison snapped, stepping forward. "Leave the VIP guests to those who know how to handle them properly." But the German woman, Frau Weber, gently touched Andre's arm and explained to her husband how he had just saved her from a potentially deadly mistake. At table 12, a woman with sharp eyes had been observing the entire exchange. Her clothes were simple but cut with precision. This was Catherine Wells, billionaire and CEO of Wells International. She often dined alone, not for the food, but to watch people when they thought no one was looking. Andre respectfully relayed the woman's dietary restrictions to Morrison, suggesting safe dishes from the menu. His professionalism and intelligence stood in stark contrast to the dismissive way the manager treated him. "Thank her and get back to your tables," Morrison said through clenched teeth, clearly annoyed by the attention Andre was receiving. "And next time, don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong." Before leaving, Frau Weber pressed a $100 tip into Andre's hand and whispered softly in German, "You saved my life today. Thank you for your kindness and intelligence." Catherine continued to eat slowly, her eyes never leaving Andre. All evening she watched as Morrison repeatedly humiliated him, forcing him to clean spotless tables, criticizing his posture, and barking orders designed only to degrade him. What Morrison didn't realize was that every insult was being quietly recorded in the memory of a woman who had the resources to change Andre's future with a single decision. Catherine Wells wasn't just eating dinner. She was searching for talent in unexpected places. And in Andre Santos, she saw what Morrison could not: intelligence, dignity under pressure, and skills far greater than the role he was forced into. In the days following the incident with Frau Weber, Andre's life at Le Bernardin became miserable. Morrison was determined to punish him for drawing attention. "Santos, clean table 3 again," Morrison ordered for the 4th time that morning, knowing full well it was already spotless. "When you're done, organize all the glasses in the stockroom." Andre obeyed silently, but Catherine noticed everything. She returned to the restaurant 3 times that week, always sitting at the same quiet table, watching how Morrison targeted Andre. She saw him redo tasks for no reason, get placed in the worst sections, and endure constant whispered insults. "These people need to know their place," Morrison muttered loudly enough for Andre to hear, making sure the other waiters caught his meaning. "Give them a chance, and they think they can do anything." What Morrison didn't know was that Andre wasn't just a waiter who spoke German. During long nights at the Brooklyn Public Library, while others slept, Andre studied tirelessly. He devoured not only language books, but also hotel management guides, etiquette manuals, and studies on luxury hospitality. He had grown up watching his mother, Donna Rosa, work as a cleaning lady in office buildings, coming home with stories of how executives treated workers like they were invisible. "Son," she would say, rubbing ointment into his sore hands, "one day you'll be on the other side of that desk. And when that day comes, remember what it feels like to be down here. Catherine discreetly investigated Andre. She spoke with the Brooklyn librarian, who confirmed that a young black man had spent years buried in books on languages, business, and hospitality. Cleaning staff revealed that Andre often arrived 2 hours before his shift to study, filling worn notebooks with careful notes. One particularly busy Thursday, Morrison went out of his way to humiliate Andre in front of staff. "You think just because you speak another language, you're better than the others," he sneered. "At the end of the day, you're still just another waiter." Andre paused, his hand tightening around the tray he was polishing. Catherine thought he might finally explode. Instead, he took a deep breath. "Yes, sir," Andre said firmly. His voice was calm, but his steady tone unsettled Morrison. That same night, Catherine witnessed the breaking point. A Japanese couple struggled to explain their dietary restrictions in broken English, while the assigned waiter grew visibly frustrated. Andre approached gently. "Sumimasen nihongo ga wakarimasu," he said in fluent Japanese. "Can I help you with the menu?" The couple instantly relaxed, but Morrison swooped down like a hawk. "Santos, how many times do I have to tell, you stay in your section? They have shellfish allergies and couldn't explain. I don't care." Morrison barked loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear. "You're here to serve food, not to show off languages. If you can't follow orders, you can find another job." An awkward silence fell. The Japanese couple looked embarrassed, and several other diners exchanged uneasy glances. Andre lowered his eyes. His humiliation was obvious, but Catherine noticed his clenched fists, not out of rage, but in the resolve of someone making a decision. "I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again," Andre said quietly, but his tone carried something Morrison didn't recognize: certainty. That night, Catherine made a call. "James, I need a full report on Le Bernardin. Licenses, financial, history, everything. And especially I want information on one employee, Andre Santos." For weeks, Andre endured more mistreatment, yet each time he carefully wrote notes in a small notebook hidden in the staff room. Dates, witnesses, exact words. It wasn't paranoia, it was preparation. Catherine's research revealed even more. Andre had lost his father at 16 and became the sole provider for his family. He worked construction by day and restaurants at night and still studied in the early morning. His academic records showed excellent grades in hotel management, paid for through sacrifice. Her assistant confirmed something even more impressive. "Miss Wells, Andre Santos speaks 6 languages, and he's completing an executive MBA through an international program. He pays tuition by working weekends as a translator." Catherine smiled. Andre wasn't just talented, he was exceptional. Meanwhile, Morrison's cruelty intensified. Other employees whispered about their own mistreatment. Carmen, a Latina waitress, confided that Morrison had humiliated Isabella, a new Italian server, for her accent. David, an Asian-American waiter, revealed Morrison had removed him from serving a table because he didn't look French enough. Andre realized the manager had created a system where white employees received the best tables and tips, while others were systematically degraded. "Have you ever thought of filing a complaint?" Andre asked quietly. "With what lawyer?" "With what money?" David sighed bitterly. "Morrison has friends everywhere. One complaint and we're blacklisted forever." Andre understood. This wasn't just his fight. It was on a Thursday when Catherine finally approached Andre directly. During his lunch break, she spoke to him in flawless German. "Mr. Santos," she said, "may I speak with you in private?" Surprised, Andre replied in the same language, "You speak German?" "I speak 7 languages," she smiled. "Just like you, my name is Catherine Wells, and I have a proposal." They walked to a nearby cafe. Catherine got to the point. "I'm not just a customer. I acquire businesses. I've been studying Le Bernardin, and I've been studying you." Andre frowned, unsure what to think. "You speak 6 languages, have a degree in hotel management, and are pursuing an executive MBA. But most importantly, you have something money can't buy: dignity under pressure. Meanwhile, your manager is violating federal laws with his discrimination." Andre's pulse quickened. "Are you a lawyer?" "No, but I have the best labor lawyers on call, and I have the resources to do what Morrison never expects. Fight back. She handed him a tiny digital recorder. Keep working as usual. Document everything. In 2 weeks, we'll have enough evidence to not only remove him, but also to replace him. With you. Andre stared at the device in his hand. It was small, but it felt like power. For 2 weeks, Andre recorded everything. Every insult, every order, every discriminatory remark. Catherine returned often, documenting from her corner table. Finally, the night of reckoning arrived. A group of Japanese investors had booked a private room paying $15,000. Morrison, desperate to impress, ordered Andre to stay in the kitchen. "I don't want our special guest to feel uncomfortable," he said with a smirk. But what Morrison didn't know was that Catherine had organized the entire event herself. At 7:00 p.m., the room filled with elegantly dressed executives. Morrison strutted proudly, shaking hands and bragging about his high standards. Catherine approached. "Mr. Morrison," she said coldly, "may I ask how you select your staff?" "Well," he boasted, "some people just don't have the right profile. It's a matter of image." Catherine discreetly signaled Andre. Suddenly, Morrison's own voice boomed from the speakers. "People like him should be grateful to have any job. Don't go around creating expectations above your station." The room froze. More recordings. Played 2 weeks of racist comments, humiliations, and abuse. Guests looked horrified. Catherine stood. "There is no misunderstanding. I am Catherine Wells, CEO of Wells International. We have just acquired Le Bernardin. Mr. Morrison, you are dismissed. Your replacement will be Andre Santos." Gasps filled the room as Andre stepped forward, calm and composed. He addressed the guests in English, then fluently switched to Japanese, French, German, and Italian, proving his readiness to lead. Applause broke out. Morrison stood pale and broken as security escorted him out. His 20-year reputation collapsed in a single evening. 6 months later, Le Bernardin was transformed. Now led by Andre Santos as general manager, it had become one of the most respected restaurants in Manhattan, not only for food, but for its culture of inclusion. Carmen had been promoted, Isabella managed a wine program, and David ran an international culinary exchange. Magazines called it the rebirth of Le Bernardin, how a former waiter turned prejudice into prosperity. Meanwhile, Morrison found no work. His downfall had gone viral, and every attempt to find a job ended in rejection. His arrogance had destroyed him. Andre, now dressed in his own fine suit, received a call from the United Nations, inviting him to coordinate an official dinner. His success had extended far beyond one restaurant. A letter arrived from Frau Weber, the German woman whose allergy he had saved. "Dear Andre," she wrote, "you didn't just protect me that night. You proved kindness still exists. Your mother must be very proud." Andre smiled, remembering her words. "One day you'll be on the other side of the table." She was right, but he had done even more. He had rebuilt the table itself,